Aquarius, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for, well, from now, whenever you're hearing this, whenever this is, to the end of March. And if you like this reading, I'd like you to please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to. I don't mind. Yeah, I'm just going to start your reading right now. I hate saying all those big long things. Maybe I won't say any more ever again. I'll just say, hey Aquarius, welcome to your reading. I don't know. Anyway, so with this whole thing, before I start, it looks quite spiritual. It looks like quite a spiritual reading, because you know you've got the High Priestess, you've got the Hierophant, Ace of Cups, Magician. It just feels that way to me generally. So it might be a little bit, sometimes if I get a very spiritual reading, it can be a little bit abstract. So hopefully you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about when I go through these cards. So, and hopefully I will as well. Hopefully I won't get too crazy. Okay, so just a warning. Okay, so with the High Priestess, obviously this is the spiritual card, beautiful spiritual card. It's all about this kind of very inner knowing. It's like inner knowing. I know myself. I'm at one with the earth and the moon, and I'm at one with myself. I'm at one with my inner self. And I think that's how you are. I think you're like that. Really, really good. You're quite a spiritual person. That's what I'm seeing. And the big thing is, though, you're uniquely spiritual. What I mean by that is it feels like you don't follow lots and lots of people's rules. You've got your own way of doing things. You've got your own thought process or belief system, I should say, and you follow that. You follow that, and you know what you're doing, and you know you're kind of fluid as well, you know, because the High Priestess has a lot of water there, and her dress is very fluid. So you know you're not kind of set in stone. If you change things, you change them, but it has to be up to you. It has to be what you want. You know yourself. You're very wise in that way. Now, what I'm getting here is it feels like you might have had some people around you and they had a very, very different system to you, or a very different way of seeing things, and it was quite jarring. I'm getting this feeling of kind of like, oh, I'm around these people, they're completely different, and you don't mind being around different people, but it feels like a whole lot of people who all had this kind of one voice, we all believe this, we all do that, all that kind of thing. And you were completely different, and it just felt like, oh, I'm not saying anything right now, but I'm hearing all these words, all these people are saying these things, and I'm just so different to that. I'm completely different to them. My inner being is completely different to them. It's almost like, I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to listen to this. I want to shut my ears. And what's interesting, you've got the Hierophant down there, and if you look at his ears, they're covered. So it's like, no, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. It's completely different. You know, all these people are very different from me to the extreme. And it might have been political as well, or it might have been some kind of way of thinking. So it might have been in the workplace. Excuse me, I've just swallowed. Might have been in the workplace, because yeah, I'm getting this, I don't want to hear this, I don't want to hear this. This is what I'm getting. It sounds extreme, I know, but it's like, I don't want to corrupt what's inside me. I've got this really spiritual ideal, I've got these ideas, I don't want that to be corrupted. I don't want to hear all this stuff. And I get a bit like that if I'm watching television, which I don't have one. I don't have one, but if I'm with someone else and they have one, I'm not saying television's bad and it's all terrible, but there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of negativity there. And if I'm around that kind of talk all the time, it really, really changes my energy. So it might be something like that that was happening. Now, if this is in the workplace, because I'm seeing that it might be in the workplace, because I am getting a lot of work here, so it might be that. If it is, you know, it might be that you're fine there, but it feels like it isn't really fine if this is resonating with you. So this might be reminding you that it might be a good idea to maybe work for yourself sometime. If you can't do that now, maybe it's sometime in the future, because you're a very individualistic kind of a person. And you've got these two boss cards here. You've got the Emperor and the Magician. So it might be that you really this is an indication that you really need to start to think about being your own boss, maybe, to get out of this kind of workplace thing that's kind of trying to kind of bring you out of yourself, and you don't want to do that. You want to stick with who you are. And, you know, I think you've also, the big thing that was jarring you as well with all this, if this is resonating with you, you've been here before. You've been in some kind of situation, I think, in your past where someone tried to make you into something else, or, you know, maybe you felt yourself slipping away, your true self. Yeah, I think this is a past love connection, actually. And you lost yourself in this person. You lost yourself in them. And you thought you loved this person, and that's why you lost yourself, because you gave yourself to this person. You gave everything to them. And then you woke up one day and you said, actually, this is horrible. I'm giving myself to this person. And what are they giving to me? And I've lost myself. I've totally lost myself. They're being fed by me. They're building themselves up to be this big, 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 strong thing. And I'm slipping away. I'm losing myself. So there's this internal fight that you have to never let that happen again. I'm seeing that. So I think that's why you're kind of really fighting inside yourself so hard to not let those words get to you. And, you know, you're really strong. You've got the Emperor here. So I'll talk about the Emperor right now. And so, you know, yeah, the Emperor knows exactly who he is. He knows who he is. He's never changing. And if people trying to change him, he'll fight. He's ready to fight. He's got his armor on. He's not going to just sit there and take things. He doesn't do that. And, you know, what's interesting is, you know, you've got the High Priestess and the Emperor right under there. And a lot of people take you as someone who is the High Priestess, and you are like that. But the side that they don't see the strong side of that. They don't see the strong side of the High Priestess, which is the Emperor. They just see, oh, the kind of wishy-washy, spiritual kind of side. But you've got an extremely strong side, very, very strong. And yeah, I'm seeing this as well. I don't know if this is going to fit in or not, but it's kind of like you're around people. I'm seeing this as well. You're around people. I don't know if this was in the workplace. It might have been somewhere else. Around people who have a different idea of what success is about to you. Because it feels to me like a lot of people around you are quite materialistic. And there's nothing wrong with wanting money. I know a lot of people are against me when I say that. I see that in the comments. To me, it's your attitude toward the money. It's not the money that's the bad thing. Anyway, I don't want to go into that again. But you have a lot of these materialistic people around you, and that maybe that's what this is all about. It might be something else. I don't know. But it's like, oh, I want this. I want the car. I want the house. I want the whatever it is. I want the Louis Vuitton bag, and I want the red bottom shoes, and I want the this and the that. And you're like, well, no, there's more than that. There's more than that. There's more depth than that. I want depth. I want depth. I don't want shallowness. I don't want shallowness. So I'm getting that around you as well. So it feels like you're guarding yourself against that as well. And the other thing is, you know, I think people see you as this, you know, High Priestess, which is what I was seeing before. And you're not a pushover. You're not a pushover. You are strong. You have the Emperor at your core. The High Priestess is there, but the Emperor's inside. The Emperor's inside. So they can't stop you. They can't stop you. And I think you've got the Emperor inside you because of that situation you're in, that love situation where you did lose yourself. And after that happened, you got that Emperor inside you, and it said, no, I'm not going to change for anyone ever again. I'm going to keep my strength inside myself. So that's what I'm seeing there. Okay, just another thing I'm getting here. There's someone who is quite a domineering person. Now, I don't know if this is this ex or someone else. I'm just getting this feeling that you're trying to stop someone from being around someone, or you're trying to stop someone from associating with someone. There's a domineering person. There's a difficult person. More than that, quite severe, quite a horrible person. And you're trying to, and it's like you really want to reach out to the person they're with and say, don't be with that person, don't be with them, they're bad news, you're just going to be hurt, you're this and you're that. If that's you, if that resonates with you, if you try and tell this person to be away from someone else, from someone they're with, especially if this is a love connection, they're going to go emperor on you. They're going to turn into the emperor. They're going to be so determined to not listen to what you have to say. And they have to learn that by themselves. I think they will find out what they're like eventually. You've just got to leave that and let them find that out by themselves. So I'm seeing that very clear message here to someone who needs to hear that. And, you know, also that they're not a good person. So I think for your own emotional health, I think you need to step away from that whole situation if that resonates with you. If you know what that is, that's the message there. Okay, so the last card you have for your past is the Hierophant. Okay, lots of mixed things I'm getting here. Okay, this is what I'm getting. It feels like love. I'm getting love here. It feels immediate. I know this is in the past, but it feels immediate. It feels like you're not around this person. There's definitely love here. It feels a little bit, yeah, I'm getting the word forbidden. I'm getting forbidden. I'm getting forbidden. So it might not be that extreme. Maybe this is how somebody feels, that maybe they shouldn't do this for whatever reason. I'm getting that. So this is all a bit mixed up. So hopefully it'll make sense with what I'm saying here. So, okay, so there's a bit of backwards and forwards here. It feels like they wanted to come forwards. It feels like something was holding them back. And I think you've had a past with this person. I think they've come backwards and forwards a few times. Yeah, there's some kind of pressure around them. It feels like something, it feels like I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I need to do what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to follow the rules. That's what I'm getting, because the Hierophant can be about that. So yeah, there's a group of people, or there's some kind of thing, some kind of convention that they don't want to get out of, or they want to get out of, but they feel that they shouldn't do that. That's kind of what I'm getting there. And, you know, usually when I see things like this kind of going backwards and forwards, and someone who's kind of wishy-washy, and 1 minute they're here, 1 minute they're there, if I see things like that, it's like game playing. And I hate seeing that. So I usually say to anyone who's involved in a game player or a backwards and forwards, I just say, you know, keep away from that kind of thing, because it always ends in tears, it always ends in hurt. But I don't want to say this actually, but I have to say this. If I'm seeing it, I have to say this. There's love here. There is real love here coming from them. So there might be some other reason that's stopping them, or that's making them do this backwards and forwards thing. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So if this is you, if you know who this is, if your instincts are truly telling you that, you know, this is a good person, and, you know, they would be right for me if only for this thing that's in the way, or whatever it is, if you know for sure, 100% sure that it's not just games, and, you know, you've got good instincts, you're the High Priestess, so you might be right here if this is you. But you need to be honest with yourself. This isn't about wishful thinking. This isn't about, oh, I really, really hope they'll behave and come back to me. It's not that kind of thing. This is someone who does truly have some kind of very, very strong, difficult force that's stopping them from coming forward, and it's making them go backwards and forwards, and you know that it's not just games. Then, you know, there is love there. There is love there. I'm seeing that. The other thing I'm getting here is, I have to say this, they're not very strong. They're not very strong, because if they want to be with you, they'll be with you, but they've got this big force, or this big person or group or something that's stopping them. And if anything's stopping them from being with you, that tells me that they're not strong. And, you know, I feel like saying, oh, if someone doesn't want to be with you, if someone isn't with you, that means they don't want to be with you. Usually that is the case, but here I'm seeing someone who's not very strong, they're a weak person, and there's this other force or something that's stopping them. And then they're not blameless. They're not blameless, because if they want to be with you, they should just say, well, I don't care about that. I want to be with this person. So there's a lot of, that's why I was getting all these mixed in feelings here. Lots and lots of mixed things. It's very, very complicated. So, you know, it's really difficult. I feel stuck actually, because I hate people having to wait. I hate people being stuck in a situation. I want people to be strong. I want people to be empowered. I want them to walk away from things like this. But if there's love there, I have to say, and there is. So really difficult. It's almost like I want to just ignore that whole card, but I can't do that. Okay, so I'll go into the next card, which is the Ace of Cups for your present. And here it is again. You see, I can't pretend it's not there. There's love here. They've got love for you. You know, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Well, no, I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's the Aries in me wanting to tell you what to do. But that's not why I'm here. But I'm really, really conflicted because on the one hand, there's love there. And on the other hand, there's this thing hanging over them. It feels so powerful. It's like, you know, it might be a person, might be a group. But, you know, if you decide to be with them again, it's going to be there. That cloud, whatever this is, it's always going to be there. I'm seeing that. Unless they completely get away from this whole thing, it's going to always be there for you. So just watch out for that. Just be aware of that. And yeah, the Ace of Cups can be about new love as well. So I'm not seeing that, but what I am seeing is I think they are going to want to start with a completely new, like a clean slate with you, starting again. They wanted to feel new. They want to go back to the start with you. So I think you should really expect a message from this person. You should expect one soon, actually, probably in the next few weeks, I think. So prepare for that. But also prepare to make some really, really hard decisions. It feels like they're trying to make some hard decisions right now. You have some decisions to make as well. That's what I'm seeing. And you know, this card can be about healing as well. And what I'm seeing here is you've healed a lot. And I was seeing that in the High Priestess as well, in the Emperor. You've healed. You've gotten away from a bad situation. I think you might have healed from this particular person as well, because I was seeing backwards and forwards, and there's a distance there, so you've had some time away from them, so you've probably healed from them as well. And I really, 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 really don't want you to go all the way back to a potential heartbreaking situation again. I'd hate to see you hurt again. So at least if you do say yes to them, at least take your time with them. At least make sure that this is what you truly, truly want. So I just have to tell you that. Okay, so the next card you have your presence, the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, few different things I'm getting here. Obviously, there's lots and lots of work in this reading as well. But what I'm really seeing here is there's lots of repetition with all these coins. You know, this poor man, he has to do this really, really boring job. He has to make the same thing over and over and over again. So he's making the same coin over and over again. So boring. I'd hate to do that. So I think with this love connection, you know, they're thinking about this over and over and over again. It's like they're thinking about all the implications. They're thinking about you, obviously. They're thinking about, oh, should I leave? Should I go? Should I leave all these people behind? Should I leave this big force behind? It's really hard for me. It's kind of like, right, I'm on the verge of distancing myself, but I need to make a decision. I don't know which way to go. So I'm thinking about this over and over and over again. It might be that they're going to have to lose people, or they think they are, if they come to you. Because, you know, if you look at this card, he's got his back to the town. So they might feel as if, oh, I have to turn my back on all these people if I have to move forward. So there's that. But, you know, you've got the Magician here, you've got the Ace of Cups as well. So those two cards are telling me, and this is right in between the two, that they're trying to manifest love. They want to manifest love with you. That's what I'm seeing, and it's fresh. They want to manifest new love with you. So no matter what's happened in the past, they want to start something new. And again, they're going to come forward. But yeah, there's a lot for them to work out in their head. Obviously, this man's working, so they have to work through a lot in their head. And you know, they're not taking this lightly. They're really, really not. They're really thinking about this. But the thing here is, and I have to keep saying this to you, you have to think about yourself. You really, really have to think about you. This is your reading. You have to think about how this is all going to impact on you, and whether that's going to corrode your strength in yourself that you have, and the spiritual self that you have, the spiritual core that you have. So really think about that. So the last card you have your present is the Magician, which I love. Fantastic card. So again, remember who you are at your core. Remember yourself. Don't change yourself. Don't change that. Don't change it for love. Don't change it for anything or anyone. And yeah, I'm really, really getting that here. And, you know, again, I'm getting, you need to really be strong. You're going to have to be the strong one as well around them, because they're not very strong. They're going backwards and forwards. Should I stay around this group? Should I move? Should I stay with what's there? I've got this big force. I'm really afraid. Should I go backwards and forwards? So again, if you're with them, you're going to have to be the strong one. It's like you're going to have to be the boss. So there's that as well. And you're going to have to think about your stability as well, because it feels a little bit like they don't feel that stable right now, obviously with this backwards and forwards. That might change later, I don't know, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting right now. So you've got to think about that as well. And the other thing I'm getting here is you're really capable, you're really strong. So again, what this is saying is if you want to go out on your own in work or something like that, this is the time to do it. You've got the Magician here. Now is the time to start to be your own boss if that's what you want to do. The Emperor's here and, you know, the Magician's here. Two big bosses. So go ahead and do that right now if that's what you want to do. Try and do something to start this if that's what you want to do. And yeah, something else I'm getting here. Yeah, there's so much work here. I know this is turning into kind of a part of a work reading. So, but yeah, this is what I'm getting. So if you've got a difficult meeting coming up, a work kind of thing, it's something where you're going to have to give a lot of information out, or you're going to have to lay it all on the table, lay it all on the line. Like if you look at this Magician, everything's, I'll lift that up, everything's laid out on the table in front of him. So it might be a performance-based meeting. They might be looking at how you're performing. So there's a lot of nerves around this. It feels quite nervous to me. So, and I think you're up against someone who pushes. I'm getting lots and lots of pushing things right to the edge. They might push people right to the edge. It might be really difficult. So yeah, that's why I'm getting all this nervousness here. I just want to tell you that if this is you, if you're looking forward to this meeting, if you're really stressed, it's like, oh, I've got to lay myself bare, I've got to talk about myself, it's really stressful, and I've got this pushy person there, they push things to the edge, it's really stressy. You've got the Magician, so just know that. So the outcome's going to be good if you've got the Magician. And you know, the other thing about the Magician is he's really good with words. He's very, very eloquent. So you're going to be able to speak what you have to say. You're going to be very eloquent in that. And you know, I'm just looking at this sword and this wand, and they're both kind of hanging over the edge of this table. And yeah, this is someone who takes things to the edge, or they push things over the edge. They take their words, which is swords, their energy, which is, you know, wands, and they like to push and push and push things over to the edge. So if they're like this, obviously that's why you're nervous. But you are going to come out well in this. You are coming up as the Magician. Doesn't matter how pushy they are. If you're coming up as a Magician, it's going to turn out well. It is going to, and better than you're imagining. Way better than you're imagining. You're probably thinking, oh, this is going to be a disaster. It's going to be awful. It's not going to be a disaster. That's what I'm getting there. So the first card you have your futures, yeah, the horrible Ten of Swords. So, you know, I'm seeing a similar thing. I think this is all about what I was seeing in the Magician card, this meeting or whatever this is. Because, you know, you've got this card, and okay, I'll tell you what I'm seeing here. This is about this meeting, I think, and it's about, I think you might be fearing, I hope you're not, but this might be what's happening for some people. You might be fearing that you might actually lose your job, because this is all about, oh, I'm dead, I'm buried, I'm final, I'm over with, it's all over for me. You know, obviously what death is, it's all over for me. So if that's what you're worrying about, if that's how you're feeling, this card, again, with the Magician card, it's telling me that it's not as bad as it looks. I know this looks like a horrible card, but I'll just tell you how I'm seeing this. Because there are 3 layers in this card. In the first layer, obviously we've got this poor man, he's been stabbed to death and he's lying there. So that's what you're worrying about. It's the end for me. I'm going to die. It's, you know, I'm terminated. There's no more of me in this workplace. But then you've got beyond that, if you look beyond that, you've got water, lots and lots of emotion. So, you know, you're feeling quite emotional, if this is you, that this might happen to you. But then beyond the water, you've got the mountains. So you've got climbing up again. And then beyond the mountains, you've got the sunrise. So things are going to rise again. Things are not as bad as they look. They look bad now, but if you look beyond what's happening now, or beyond how you feel now, the sun's going to rise up again. So that's why that card's showing me that if you look into this meeting and if you think, oh, I've got this horrible pushy person, I have to lay myself bare, I might lose my job. And I can see why, because at this point in time, you know, it's very, very difficult economically with what's happening in the world right now. So lots and lots of people are stressed about their job. But I'm not seeing that happening to you in this job. I'm really not with these two cards here. And again, if you're really stressed in your work, I don't want to repeat myself, but it might again be time for you to start to branch out on your own. If you've got this kind of stress going on, and you've got, you know, people who are very different from you, and you have to be around that kind of thing, all these things are telling me that it might be time for you to do that now, especially if you've got the Magician. So I don't want to repeat myself, so I'm not going to say that again. So the next card you have for your future is the Five of Swords. Yes, horrible. Ten of Swords, Five of Swords. So yeah, lots and lots of difficult cards here. So I'm going to talk about this and the Five of Wands together here, because they're going together here for me. Now, with this love connection, it looks like there's some kind of, I can see what this is now. So there's a force that's trying to stop them from moving forward. And it looks like family to me. It looks like family. And family connections, family problems, family dramas. You know, it's interesting because when I first saw this problem with this person that's coming for you, who wants to come for you, you know, they want to start again with you. When I first saw this problem, I saw that in the Hierophant. And the Hierophant can be about, you know, as a person, the Hierophant can be about, oh, I'm doing the right thing. I'm a pillar of society. I've got all these rules and everyone has to follow them. I'm doing the right thing. And I've got this face on, I'm right, everyone has to follow that. And, you know, the Hierophant can be about organised religion. It can be about old-fashioned style of education. Now, there's nothing wrong with organised religion. There's nothing wrong with, you know, old-style education. You know, the good things about them are there's discipline. There's discipline. Everyone knows where they are. Everyone knows where they stand. Everyone knows what they have to do. The bad side of those things is that no one has freedom, that everyone has to follow the rules. So that's what the Hierophant's all about. So I think this family might be, I know this sounds horrible, but if you know this family and you know what they're like, this will make sense to you. This family has this mask of the Hierophant, and they're like, oh, I do the right thing, I'm all like this, but that's all on the surface. This is all a facade. Behind that, what they're really like is, you know, the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords, chaos and doing the wrong thing, not behaving well, not doing well. And obviously, if they're stopping this person from coming forward and getting love, which is what they want, they're not the best kinds of people. So it's all about front. So it might be, oh, this Aquarius person is not good enough for us. It might be that, oh, we're all snooty, we're all like the Hierophant, we're up on this big pedestal, no one can get to us because we've got this big, you know, snobby idea. So it might be that. It might be a cultural difference, it might be a religious difference, because I was getting the spirituality. So whatever it is, you know, they've got some really, really tough decisions to make when they come toward you, and they are going to do that. You will as well. You're going to have some really difficult decisions to make. To me, this does not look like a group of people that I would like to be around. So very tough for you if that is resonating with you. You've got a lot to weigh up here, I think. So I'm just going to finish that there. I hope that made sense to you. Aquarius, I really hope, well, I hope some of it resonated. But yeah, it's a general reading, so it's not going to always resonate. I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to say thank you so much for watching.